But look, Rory Jennings is in the studio. Rory, massive, lifelong Chelsea supporter. So he's got plenty to say, I'm sure, about their decision to appoint Enzo Maresca on a 5-year deal. First of all, Rory, let's talk about the length of the contract, because Mauricio Pochettino, a manager of great pedigree, okay, he's not truly elite, but he's a top-class manager, was given 2 years. Enzo Maresca has been given 5. Why?
I think it's a wonderful question. The answer is probably quite a troubling one. It says a lot about what Enzo Maresca is going in there to do, and it says a lot about what Mauricio Pochettino was prepared to do. Mauricio Pochettino obviously went in there with his own ideology. He went in there with his own ideals. He went in there with his own principle. I think that's what ultimately got him sacked. The reason that he was sacked is obviously not a footballing reason. If you were to try and drill down into the sacking of Mauricio Pochettino, it's important to acknowledge here that I never liked him. I still don't like him.
I'm sure you said you loved him once. I'm sure there's a video.
No, there is a video. There's a very misleading video. It isn't quite true. It's neither here nor there. It's a very misleading video.
Okay.
And thank you for bringing that up.
I'll let you off. Yeah.
But no, look, Mauricio Pochettino never really belonged at Chelsea. He is the personification of Tottenham. He is he is the public face of the Tottenham team of the past decade. Probably aside from Harry Kane, it's him.
Yeah.
So I don't really want him at Chelsea. But what can't be denied is that by the end of the season, he did his job. He did what he was tasked with to do. He got Chelsea back into Europe, which is significant in itself. He won 5 games in a row, which Chelsea probably haven't done since about 2019. He blooded some young players. Some certain players played very well under him. If you look at the form of, say, Trevor Chalobah, he comes into the team, Chelsea win games. Chelsea were unbeaten with Chalobah in the team. You look at Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher played more minutes for Mauricio Pochettino than any other player. I think what's happened is, and I think it's fairly obvious what's happened, I'm speculating, but I'm speculating with a good basis. Pochettino has been told that Trevor Chalobah will be sold. Pochettino has been told that Conor Gallagher will be sold. And quite rightly, he has said to our billionaire venture capitalist American owners, what on earth are you talking about? You cannot sell the centre-half who comes into the team and suddenly Chelsea don't lose any games, and the man who's played more minutes for me than anyone else. How can you possibly sell those players? Nothing screams panic like trying to sell our captain, or sometimes club captain, to Tottenham for 50 million quid. So the principle of Pochettino has basically gone, that can't happen. They then have said, nobody will stand in the way of our vision. Winstanley, Stewart, nobody will stand in the way of their vision. And that includes Mauricio Pochettino, and he's therefore paid with his job. Yeah.
Well, Maresca, at least he walks into a team that's got confidence. I mean,
he walks into a shambles, Adrian. He walks
at the
walks
end of the season, though. I think across the last 12 games, only City and Arsenal got more points than Chelsea. So you ended the season really well.
Yep.
Is he going to have any kind of budget? You're talking about those 2 players being sold. Is that it then? Are they going to be allowed to buy players?
Chelsea's priority this summer will have to be to make some money.
Okay.
Like, there's no 2 ways about it. You know, PSR issues are significant.
And improve the players that they've got.
His job, Maresca's job, will be to improve the players that he's got. But this has set us back at least 2 years. Because there's no way that Maresca is a better manager than Pochettino. No, that's just not possible. There's also no way that Maresca's system is going to be playable with a lot of the players that he has in the team.
Yep.
So if you look at, do you know a really good way to look at this? The goalkeeping situation. It feels like nonsense to me. I'm not into this way of playing football. I like Ancelotti, pragmatism, right? Just find a way to win. But you know this style, if you're going to try and do it, which is where you give the manager the players and then you give him carte blanche over the players. You play his system, his ideology, one way to play the game. It's complete and utter drivel. But that's what he's going to do. Yeah. Inverted goalkeepers and all that. So therefore, to play that system, you've got to have a specific team.
Your goalkeeper has got to be as good as any outfielders on the ball to play for a Maresca team.
Agreed. And Petrovic, who was very good for us last season, doesn't want the ball at his feet. He's a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have to want the ball at his feet. Like, I find it so annoying. You know, when people talk about football now, they make it this like really complex science. They go, what's he like with his feet? And I don't care what he's like with his feet. Can he catch? Because that's a big deal for a goal. Yeah. Can he save shots?
I'll tell you the one I'm worried about, Rory, and it's Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer loved Pochettino. He loved playing for him. Pochettino found a great role for him within the team. They were a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
They've broken that up. Maresca's system is two very wide wingers, not inverted forwards, wide wingers. And then he has two box-to-box players. Sometimes it's one. Now, if it's one, I guess it's Cole Palmer, but that one often has to come back.
Cole Palmer doesn't want to be a box-to-box player,
No,
though.
that's
not
what I mean,
what his job is. His job isn't box-to-box, is it? It's not who he is. So, no, I don't think that works well for Cole Palmer. I also think that Cole Palmer will feel slightly betrayed because they achieved what they set out to achieve. They made it into Europe. Look, Manchester United winning the FA Cup, and fair play to them for doing that. It's a huge, huge achievement. Them winning the Cup has done us a mischief. But Chelsea did what we were supposed to do. Finished 6th in the league. Let's remember, Chelsea finished above Manchester United in the league. Chelsea finished above above Newcastle United in the league. We were breathing down the neck. Tottenham Hotspur, who had a brilliant season apparently. So they did their job. They then ruthlessly, foolishly, and actually idiotically sacked the manager that was so intrinsic into making this happen. Like, it doesn't happen without Pochettino, particularly towards the end of the season. Cole Palmer, if I were him, I hope that he loves the club. I hope he feels a rapport with the fans. I hope he's happy with some of the players. But to be totally frank with you, if I was Cole Palmer, you think of the season he's had, and I think, Adrian, I think that people kind of gloss over and almost don't acknowledge quite how mental his season was. He's gone from sitting on the bench at City, never scored a Premier League goal, to landing at Chelsea, a team in total disarray and banging in 20. Like, that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts.
And then you bring in a manager the following year that doesn't play a system that suits him.
If you were Cole Palmer's mate, like away from football, not at Chelsea, just his mate or his mum, you go, what on earth you do? Like, you need what Cole Palmer needs, because I believe that he could be one of the very best.
He's a
special player. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a player like him. It's like Hazard. You know, the impact of Hazard. It's that.
Just pure end product.
It's just pure.
You know, you get some players that are snazzy. They've got all the tricks, all the flicks. Anthony, but then do nothing.
Yes.
Don't score.
Yes.
Don't assist. Don't really contribute. Palmer's the opposite. He doesn't. He's got good feet, but he doesn't do anything for show.
No. It's all for effect.
It's all about. Can I score a goal? Can I help my mate score a goal? I think he's a brilliant player.
And you know, if you look at Cole Palmer, if you look across Europe here, at some of the most prodigious young talents around, and you say, who's going to win a Ballon d'Or in the next decade? It's not lunacy to say Cole Palmer. He's one of the players that is capable of potentially winning a Ballon d'Or one day. He's good enough. He's got the silk. But he will need the platform. Chelsea Football Club, sadly, couldn't be further from that.
No.
What he needs is... Ironically, what he needs is Man City. He needs Pep Guardiola. I think it's a huge error what they did. Getting rid of him and bringing in the likes of Kovacic and Nunez and Doku, none of them, the three of them combined, aren't as good as Cole Palmer.
No, I tend to agree with that. Very, very quickly, on Maresca, what happens if he gets off to a dodgy start?
They'd be sacked at Christmas.
You think he'll go?
He'd be sacked at Christmas. That's not a hyperbolic statement. Chelsea, under this ownership, 6 managers. Been there 2 years. He's a 6. If you include that bald fellow who did a game, he's 7. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, forget his name. We've had so many. Bruno. If you remember him, Bruno Salter. Yeah. Nobody even remembers. We've had another manager that nobody even knows.
How many other managers available that could have taken the job would you have preferred ahead of Enzo Maresca? I'm just interested.
Probably a dozen.
A dozen, right.
If I'm frank, in terms of the managers that I wanted, I don't think I would have had Maresca on the list. I don't think, if you ask me 5, who do you want to be the next Chelsea manager, and I give you 5, there's no way I say Enzo Maresca. Absolutely no way. No. I wanted a manager. I had one prerequisite for who comes in. What we need at the moment, we need somebody with standards, somebody with pedigree, and somebody who demands the best and knows what Chelsea is supposed to be. You need somebody, in my opinion, who has a Champions League to their name. It doesn't matter who that person is. Have they won a Champions League? If the answer is yes, let's try and get them. If the answer is no, let's just discard them. If the answer is they've never managed in the top flight, if the answer is they got relegated with Parma in Serie B, do you know what Chelsea have done? Do you know what I think really does give you... Listen, just before we break, listen to this. You'll laugh at this. The image that they've created to put out across social media... Enzo Maresca, the new Chelsea manager, guess what they've had to include? They've had to include some of the silverware that he won with B teams at Man City. To like fluff it up a bit. Yeah. He did this with the under-21s. He won the FA Cup, like FA Cup, under-21s, or something mental like that.
Interesting. Very interesting. Look, if a lot of other Chelsea supporters inside Stamford Bridge feel the same way as you, then he's not going to get that much of a, you know...
I think we'll back him. Well, I know we will.
Yeah, but...
I think we'll back him.
The crowd could turn quickly. Yeah, absolutely.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.